everyone, and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Cassie, also known as KnittaCass. This is my YouTube channel where I talk about the projects that I am knitting, crocheting, patterns that I am drooling over, books that I'm reading, a little bit about my family life on a small farm in Vermont, and a spice of mental health. So grab your favorite beverage, a whip to work on, and let's chat for a little bit. I, of course, have my Pepsi. It's the equivalent to most people's coffee, except that I drink it all day long. And I have this really fun mug I'm going to use today. I love that sound. So this is a really cute mug that my sister got me for my birthday. See how it's got these really cute knitted stitches? It almost looks like a wasp stitch, which is like a kind of a lace design, but not quite. And on the stem it says knit one, sip one. I don't know if you can quite see it, and it says it on the inside as well. So thank you, Katrina. She's my sister, she is my best friend, and cheers to everyone. Let's get started. So I'm coming to you unscripted today. I was super cozy on the couch in my pajamas and didn't want to get dressed, but I didn't record my podcast on Thursday like I normally do, and it is Monday, April, I think it's the 29th. I think it's Monday, April 29th. I have an appointment this afternoon that I'm really excited about, and if I didn't podcast now, then I would not podcast again until my next Thursday off. So all that to say, this is going to be a bit unscripted. Hopefully it doesn't get too rambly, and I hope it's still enjoyable. If you're new here, welcome. Thanks for checking me out. I hope you like and subscribe. If you are a returning viewer, thank you for coming back. I am trying to increase my subscribers to 200. So if you don't mind doing a like, a share, a comment, and subscribe, any of the above would be great. I would greatly appreciate it. Okay, so first off, finished objects. I have one I am really excited. Well, I have two. One's already been finished, but now is finished, and the other one is fresh off the needles. The one that's fresh off my needles is the Campside Cardi. This bowl of chili from Simply Serving is where I was the last time I saw you. So I was on the second sleeve the last time I saw you, right about here, and she's finished. I'm going to take that little progress keeper off now. Okay, so this is the Campside Cardi, and it is a design by Alicia Plummer. I'll have this linked in the show notes below. It's supposed to look like embers of a fire coming up from the hem. So that's what these lacy holes are. It needs, I can't go back a whole lot further, but it needs a bit of a block to block out the funkiness that's happening here. See the little swoop? So I'm going to block that out. And then I need a little bit of length in my arms. So I'll block that out, give it a nice, more relaxed fix. This is in yarn. The main color is yarn from Little Fox, and it's called Pennies from Heaven. And it's also held double with some mohair. And I just threw out the label, so I'm sorry, but I will show you what they look like. This is Pennies from Heaven by Little Fox. It's this really nice, it's like a blue-green, and then it has pops of darker green in it. It's really, really pretty. And then this is the mohair, and when it's held double, it makes this really, really beautiful color. It just completely transforms both colorways. It's amazing. So yeah, it's comfy, it fits well, other than needing a small block, which I know when I block it, it's going to grow a little bit anyways. So when I was measuring for my arm, I knew that it would be okay. See how it kind of, if I extend my arm, it ends before my wrist. Yeah, very happy with it. This yarn here is called Peacock Blue. It's a nice tweedy yarn. It is by Fiber Stash Dye Works, one of my favorite indie dyers who is local in Vermont. Let's see. Spoiler alert, for those of you who've been around for a while, I've talked about her probably a couple years ago. My sister and I went to Knit in Public Day at a yarn store in Shelburne, and there was some pop-ups, and one of the pop-ups was Fiber Stash Dye Works. In fact, that I think is when I first got introduced to those products, and the lady who was running the cash register was hilarious, and they had so many colorways and just so professional looking that I assumed it was a business of multiple people. And I thought maybe she just, like, I wasn't sure whether or not she was like the dyer or the owner or just an employee. And so now recently I've been following her on Instagram, and I saw a photo of her the other day, and the lady that I had met that was really hilarious and sweet in person is the owner dyer. So really cool. I feel like I've met someone famous. I've met a couple famous people, but in the knitting world. And everyone I've met has been really down to earth, but it still feels pretty crazy when, you know, you're just a regular person like me. Okay, enough ramblingness. I might wear this the rest of the podcast. Why not? Makes me look a little bit busty, but maybe less so when it blocks a little bit. And then the finished object. So this is an object that you have seen that was finished and ready to block, and depending on how it blocked out was going to determine if I needed to add another section of motifs. This is, of course, the Rhinebeck Doodle Cowl. This is a pattern by Pacific Knit Co. She has a lot of doodles and doodle patterns, and they're all for cowls, but I think she also has like a scarf maybe. And they have themes, and the themes have different motifs, and you have the pattern for the motif, and you can kind of mix and match like a choose your own adventure and put the motifs in any order that you want. And so I had grabbed the Rhinebeck Doodle Cowl, and this is about the New York Sheep and Wool Festival in Rhinebeck, which is why people call it Rhinebeck, and a bunch of things that have to do with, you know, knitting related things and some festivals. It's got some apples, it's got some leaves, it's got some alpacas, hats, sheepies. This is supposed to be fall foliage. Sweaters, of course. You can't go to Rhinebeck without a sweater. Skeins of yarn, socks, and of course some more sheep. So this was about this tall. I'm making the infinity scarf, so it's going to go on my neck like this. And I wanted to see how much room I had when I put it on my neck before I seamed it together. So I blocked it, and it did grow. It probably could have grown more, but I was afraid of over blocking it. And I seamed it the other day. So I have a stitch that got all funky. I'll have to fix it. Anyways, so I seamed it, and where I seamed it, my husband cannot tell, my sons cannot tell, and I know where I did it so I can tell, but I'm not doing this to toot my own horn. I'm doing this because I am really impressed that I was actually able to seam it and not make it look like crap. It would not surprise me to work this hard on a project and then at the final moments completely ruin it. I've done it time and time and time again, and then I get frustrated. So I was really nervous about this part. So I asked my husband and my kids, can you tell where I seamed it? And they pointed out a couple spots. Like there's a couple spots where I have like a missed stitch, and one spot where a cat got stuck in a stitch and split it in half and whatnot. But anyways, I did it between the apples and the sheep. That's the stitch my cat broke. And there is one spot that looks a little weird to me, but in general, that's the funky spot. Yeah, it doesn't look terrible. I think it looks quite good. I'm sure people who have, ooh, got cat hair on here. I'm sure people who do it all the time have like much, even more beautiful seams, but I'm very happy with mine. I really like now that I can actually see the apples now that it's blocked, and it does actually look like an apple. When I started the project, I was really nervous it wouldn't look like an apple because it's made to have 2 contrast colors with it, and I decided I didn't need to, and then had doubts about it almost the entire project. But now that it's blocked, you can really tell that that's supposed to be an apple. It makes me feel a lot better. I used Heather Blue from Knit Picks for the blue, Allspice for this burnt orange brownish color, and white from Knit Picks and black from Knit Picks. The rest is scrap yarn. So this pink is scrap yarn from Fiber Stash Dye Works. This gray, I have no idea. This pinky color, I have no idea. Same with the red. Yellow, no idea. Gray is the same as the leaves. Red, no idea. And pink, Fiber Stash Dye Works. And there you have it. So it is done. I just braided my hair, and I don't want my hair to look like crap, but in the true process of things, I should show you how this looks. Look at that. I can stretch it out a little bit and have it like more neck room, and I can choose, whoops, where I want to have it. I don't know if I want my sweaters on the side where people are going to notice me, or on the front where they're going to look at me. You know, being vain. I don't know. Anyways, it fits. It's comfy. It's not choking me. I love it. I love it so much. Okay, so that is all I have for finished objects. I usually do this section a little bit later, but on my SCO, which stands for should have cast on already, no idea if I made that up or stole it from somebody else, or it's complete and total nonsense, but works for me. So should have cast on already was the April dishcloth from the Kitchen Sink shop. If you subscribe to her newsletter, you will get a dishcloth of the month pattern sent to you for free on the 1st of every month. Then at the end of the year, she puts them all into an ebook and sells the ebook. So April's, I think, is Easter basket, and I am knitting the washcloth in tandem with my friend. Is that the right word? She's holding me accountable. My friend Sarah's holding me accountable, and we're knitting them together. So we're trying to stay on track. So last I checked with her, I think she was almost finished, and I have not cast on yet. So that was something I was going to do this weekend, and we ended up doing a bunch of other family stuff this weekend that we can chat about later in family life. And needless to say, once again, it didn't get done. I have 2 or 3 days to finish this washcloth. Today is my only day off in that time frame. Maybe I'll bring it to work. I do have some downtime and dinner and lunch breaks, so we'll see. We'll see. Okay, finished objects, that's it. Whips. I have a new cast on. It has 2 little pieces so far. I don't know if anyone can spot what it is. If you've knit one, you probably know. This is the tail pieces for an emotional sport chicken. Woohoo! So I made one already. Her name is Hennifer Aniston, and she is made out of scrap yarn from Stash, and she is super beautiful. I'll pop a photo in here. I am making another one that's has some more color variety, but maybe a little more natural-ish colors. So this is going to be like the main colorway. And this is a color from Bumblebee Acres, and I want to say it has something to do with the House of the Dragon. I don't know if it's just Targaryen or, oh man, Cassie, I can't remember, but it's a beautiful colorway. Maybe it's even called the House of the Dragon, I'm not sure. But I do know it has to do with that show, and I do know it's from Bumblebee Acres. And then in this bag, this Bumblebee drawstring bag, which I don't know who it's from, I have collected some various colored yarns. So I've got like a mustard, I've got a purple, I've got a red, which is from my Rhinebeck Doodle. I have a gray, which is also from the Rhinebeck Doodle. And then I have this fun blue. So I don't know if I'll use the blue, but I'm pretty sure I'll use these 3 colors, and maybe this one, maybe that purple is a pop. I might end up using all of them. I'm not sure. I think I'm gonna kind of just like see how I feel about how it's looking as I'm going and maybe like holding the colors together. I don't want it to be, you know, like totally random and scatterbrain looking, but I don't want it to be completely planned out ahead of time. I kind of want to roll with the process like I did with the Rhinebeck doodle. I really enjoyed that. And I am making it in fingering weight. So this is the Emotional Support Chicken by L.A. Tree. I'll put it down below. Big hot trend right now. Almost everybody's knitting them. They are meant to be, you know, like a normal biggish size. And my friend Melissa was given one that was made out of fingering weight, and she was making fingering weight on one of the Zooms, and I thought, yes, I'm going to do that. That'll be a good way to know whether I like the pattern or not. And now I've seen that it's a good way to use some scrap yarn and a small kind of quicker project when it's fingering weight. And I am knitting it on a US 3. And I have a big old mess in this basket that I got a couple years from Rhinebeck. This is my one and only crochet blanket for the moment. Or this is my one and only crochet project for the moment with my funky edge when I started it. It's getting better. Getting much better. Yeah, I'm really liking this. This is the Cozy Stripe Blanket by Attic 24. So I'm making a nice, not giant blanket, but I would say a regular size blanket. This progress keeper down here, this little love note envelope from, Cassie. From the Corner of Craft when I did her Stitch Marker of the Month Club. So this is where I had just finished podcasting. So it doesn't look like I've done a lot since then, but I'm a slow crocheter and it takes a while to make progress on this. It's 240 stitches or something like that, around 240 stitches. And I had like 4 more rows done last night while I was watching American Idol. And then I realized that on one of the rounds where you're supposed to skip the last stitch, I didn't skip it, and it was like messing the border up again. So I ripped back. Cool thing about crochet, in case you don't know, I'm newer to crochet than I am to knitting by far. The cool thing about crochet is frogging a project is so fast and so painless. Not emotionally painless, but painless otherwise. So I could frog those back real quick. Now it's just going to take forever to crochet them back up. I am making this out of a giant mandala cake, and this is the colorway Groot, and it's got this really nice kind of fall themed aesthetic. I'm really enjoying it. I really love the way it looks, even if it takes me forever to knit it, forever to crochet it. It's gonna be fine. I'm using a 4mm hook. No idea what letter size that is. And I've got one that's got this nice kind of cushy plastic to it. I really like it. Or is it plastic? Is it rubber? I think it's rubber. It's really nice. So there's that. Oh yeah, here's the ball band. Line Brand Yarns Mandala colorway Groot. I did a little spring cleaning in the house this week, and one of the ones was my yarns behind me. So I have this nice kind of cheaply put together tote looking place to store my yarns, and I had relocated it to another wall in my bedroom so that I could put a TV here and watch the TV when I'm laying in bed, because I podcast in my room. But the last few podcasts, the lighting has been absolutely terrible, and it just looks like it has this weird yellow vintagey film to it, and I just wasn't really liking it at all. And you could barely see my yarn when I was sitting in my rocking chair, and I didn't like it. So one of the things I did was move my yarn back to this wall where it was originally, and I'm back to my original podcasting spot. Hopefully when I edit it, I will notice the light is a lot better. It looks better so far. But while I did that, I found a bunch of whips that I forgot about. This one. So this is yarn from Pretty Twisted Yarns. It was specially dyed for the Love and Stitches membership. I've got it on a stellina base. It's got this nice kind of reddish pink, a blue, and this really nice kind of supposed to be inspired by gingerbread cookies. And I think what happened, oh, it's already been frogged. I think what happened was I was on the go and I finished a pair of socks that were using these colors. And I had the bag and I had lots of time to kill and no other project to work on. So I started a new pair of socks, which apparently I frogged partially, stole the needles out of them, and didn't do anything with it. So this yarn can now go back into recirculation. I also found this one. This is is it the swallowtail sock? I think it's the swallowtail sock. It's this really cute colorwork sock, really fun. It is designed by a lady who is an entomologist, and she makes patterns based on insects. And so this one was based on caterpillars. I did a test knit a while ago and I have done nothing with it. You only had to do one sock, so I only did one sock. And I've got the yellow and green in here. They're from Knit Picks. I've got it in this cute bag. I have no idea where I got it from. Kind of a big drawstring bag. So I have to decide whether or not I will make the other sock. I don't know. And then this one I know for sure what I'm going to do. This is yarn that I have no color band for. I really need to get better at this. I feel like I've made a pair of socks out of this in the past, but I can't remember. Really pretty. Look at how bright that is. Lots of oranges. It's got pinks. And I was knitting the socks for Dumbledore pattern, and the yarn is so busy and speckly you can't see the pattern. So I have one done, and I've just barely started this. So this I'm gonna frog. I'm not enjoying the way that the pattern is looking, and I don't feel like slogging through it to not really enjoy wearing the socks. So I'm gonna frog that. And then the other whip I have is the Daisy Fields Market Tote. And I've been having a hard time finding the right fiber to use for it. I got this yarn. This is cotton. This is Ella Rae Denim DK Finest Egyptian Cotton. And the colorway is Candy Apple Tinting. Really pretty. But it's not really a thick material. It's really droopy. And the acrylic yarn was almost holding more of a form. So I have to decide whether I'm going to keep going. I've made a decent dent in this. Oh, my magic knot sucks. Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to keep going with it or not. And I was using a 5mm or an H hook, and I had it in this project bag that is by Adore Knits, and it's a Halloween project bag. So one to frog, one's already been frogged, so that's cool. One to think about, I guess. One to frog, one's been frogged, and two to decide whether to frog or continue. I'm not going to make any of those decisions today. I have a little tote box. I'm going to put them in there and make a decision after having a little bit of thought. So I'm planning on casting on a couple of things for this summer. In my last podcast, I had asked about some simple projects for some amigurumi. I want to just start practicing that because I know in the very beginning, I'm not going to be great at it, but I want to be able to do them well. So I didn't really get any pattern suggestions, which is fine. But during my spring cleaning, I found these cakes that I had bought off of a D-stash, and they are Red Heart kits. It's Red Heart amigurumi kits, and each kit makes 2 characters, and it shows you the 2 characters it makes. I have 3 sets and the other 2 are knitted, so I assumed they were all knitted, but this one actually shows up in a crochet pattern. So I think I'm going to make these guys. I think I'm going to cast them on soon. It doesn't have the pattern on the back. It says freepatternsfriendheart.com, so I'll have to search it up. But stay posted. That'll be my first amigurumi project. And then I'm going to cast on the V back tee. I'll put the designer down here. You can make it in 2 color, 3 color, 4 color, and it's really fun. It's got a V-neck that you can wear in the front or the back, and it's got some color blending between the 2 colors, which is really fun. I was going to do 3 colors, but I couldn't find 3 colors in my stash that I really enjoyed. So I chose 2 colors, and I think I have enough yardage. If not, I might have to add a 3rd color in the mix, but I think I do. There's a chart in the pattern and it tells you, like, if you're making 2 color and you're making this size, then color A and color B, you need to use this amount of yardage. So I think I have enough. I'm going to make it with some very special yarn. The first of which is this yarn that's all caked up. It looks like this in the hank. This is what it looks like balled up. Of course, I grabbed one without the tag. This is by Little Wolf Knits, and this is the Love and Speckles colorway. This is the very first colorway that was specifically designed for the Love and Stitches membership. I've been in the membership the whole time. This is the very first time we've ever had an exclusive colorway. And it's knit by Bree of the Little Wolf Knits. I have quite a few of these. Well, I shouldn't say quite a few. I have 2 in DK and 2 in fingering. So I've got 1 ready to go. And then I've got this one. Oh, I should tell you, this is called Love and Speckles. And then this one is another colorway that we had specifically designed for us. And this is from Ruby and Roses. And this is Love and Roses. So fun. This shirt's gonna be like a neutral, like soft tones, and then like wild and crazy. But some of the greens and brighter colors have like pops in here, and it's gonna bring each other out. I'm so excited. This one in the skein looks like this. I think that's it for that stuff. I did pull out some things that I want to use for Summer Sock Camp. If you're unfamiliar with that, Summer Sock Camp is a make-along that is run by Kay of the Crazy Sock Lady. I haven't watched this year's video yet. I know it starts soon. I can't remember if it starts at the end of May or beginning of June, but I think that's where it starts, and then it ends at the end of summer. And the whole goal is just knit socks and post pictures with a hashtag, and then you can win some prizes, and it's just so fun. So I pulled out some like spring and summer bags. So I've got my Shark Week bag, which is actually was bought as part of the merchandise for Sock Week in 2021, it looks like, from Northern Swan Creations. And Sock Week is a week-long sock knit along where you try to knit a sock or a pair of socks in a week in honor of Shark Week. And then I've got this butterfly bag. You've seen this recently. This, I'm not sure who makes it. The Wee Ones little polymer clay designer's mom makes these bags, and I bought this bag at her booth in Rhinebeck. It's a nice little hobo bag. And it's got monarch butterflies, which are my absolute favorite. And then I've got this cute little bag from So Crazy Crafter. I think it's got like cat hair on it, sorry. But it's got this really nice embroidery of like some spring flowers. Small little drawstring bag, perfect for sock camp. And then I bought this yarn on a Dish Stash. This is a Desert Vista Dyeworks yarn. It was her exclusive Summer Sock Camp Weight in 2021. And so I think I'm going to use this for Summer Sock Camp. And gosh, I really am rambling. I'm looking at the clock now. So sorry. And then I'm going to make socks out of this. I'm so excited. This is yarn that I dyed several years ago. I don't know exactly when, but I took a class from, I think it was Lady Dye Dyeworks through Lesson Face I think it was part of Maryland's like virtual, Maryland Sheep and Wool, I think maybe their virtual festival. And I signed up for a dyeing class, and they sent you all the things you needed to dye. And this is one of the skeins that I dyed. I love the way that blue and orange play together. This was supposed to be orange. It's more of a yellow, but I still think it's super fun and very summery. So I'm going to see how it knits up. I don't know. I can tell it's fingering weight, but I have no idea like what materials this fiber is. Super fun. Yeah, so there's that. I'm thinking I might put some of my summer stock stuff while I'm gathering it in this tote bag that I made. This is the float tote, and it is a pattern by Natalie of Knitty Natty. It has the little buckets here. I haven't even woven the ends. These little buckets to hold your yarn balls that you're supposed to snap in the bottom of your bucket. But I think I will just use it as a place to put my summer stock camp stuff right now. Yeah, that works. Cool. I've been talking about the progress keepers that I have ordered from Sucre Miniatures, and they came in. I did a quick little video, so I'll show you a little video of all of them. I'll put that in here. And this is one of my favorites. This is an everything bagel. And then there's this is the design I'm working on. Then there's a Cadbury egg. And my absolute favorite, a birthday cake. Look at that. It's even got a little candle at the top. It's got little confetti sprinkles. It's got sprinkles at the bottom of the cake. It's got like, looks like swishes of frosting. Like it looks like somebody actually iced this cake. It's got the little, you know, flowers. Oh, so pretty. 6 of these. These are the mandala Groots for my blanket. That is it for everything yarny related. So the past couple weekends have been really busy for our household. I'm in the mood for spring cleaning and reorganizing the house and get rid of furniture that we're not using. In fact, this rocking chair is going. I only use it for podcasting, and I can totally sit in a different chair. It takes up so much room in my room. So this might be the last time you see my rocking chair. That's okay. Then you'll be able to see maybe more of my yarn behind me. So coming up with things that I want to offload, donate, sell, put by the side of the road if it's a good day, that kind of stuff, getting things sorted. And we have a couch that has been very well loved. We're the second family to own it. Unfortunately, during part of our ownership, we had a puppy and was chewing. And anyways, very sad couch. So last weekend, my husband and I went on like a weird little date where we were just kind of running around doing errands, but it was just the two of us and, you know, really just hanging out together. And we decided we'd go pick out a new couch. And I thought we were just going to go and like get ideas, but we picked out a couch and we purchased it, and it came in this weekend. So yesterday we, you know, took the old couch out, and then you have to sweep and mop and all that stuff where the old couch was, and then bring your new couch in, but it doesn't go in the right spot. So you have to rearrange the whole living room. Anyways, busy day. So we got that done. Got a couple of things moved around in my room. Got some stuff ready for some, I don't know that I really have the energy for a lawn sale, but maybe Facebook Marketplace, getting lots of stuff done. Yeah, it was crazy. We even broke a window this weekend. It was a wild time. Nobody was harmed. I have my And the other big exciting thing about this weekend, well, the last couple weekends, was that my youngest, Weston, finished his hunter safety. He got 100 on his test, super excited. And this past weekend was youth weekend for turkey season. So he went out for his first time ever hunting, and it was just a really big, exciting weekend. He shot at a couple birds the first day, and the second day was so tired he didn't even really want to go out. But he did end up going out later in the day after sleeping in. And he was telling me that they had seen a turkey from the house that was in the field, and once they got closer to it, they had a decoy in front of them, and they were like crawling on their stomach, him and his older brother, to get closer. And by the time they had closed the gap, the turkey was on the, like, had bypassed the, what is it called? Tree stand, had bypassed the tree stand, and that was a missed opportunity. But he's excited to go out again this weekend. Super fun, really fun. We had a wonderful dinner. My boys went fishing, I think it's just about 2 weeks ago, and got a crap ton of trout, nice sized trout. And my son cooked a really nice trout dinner last night, and a little like pan dinner with, you know, sliced potatoes and mushrooms and onions and lemon seasoning and other seasoning, and oh, it's delicious. So that was nice. We are planning a big trip to see my family in Pennsylvania. My niece is graduating a whole year early, which is so exciting. Proud auntie moment. So we're gonna go celebrate with them for a weekend in May. That's coming up. So lots of busyness started. It's coming up. I have a kiddo graduating from high school as well this summer. So we are in that really crazy busy season again. And the days are longer, and we're getting some sunshine. And yeah, it's nice. Books. I don't think I talked about books last episode. I don't really remember what I was reading or wasn't reading. So I'm just going to go from today, what's going on, and forward. So I have just finished this book, Cue the Tissues. This is The Nightingale by Kristin Hannah. Very, very well loved book. Lots of people are talking about it. It has won lots of awards. I knew that at some point I was going to read it, and my sister and I are doing a book exchange where we're sending each other a book every month. It's got, you know, loosely got a theme from a TikTok video that she had shared. And so she sent this one to me, and she had read it, and while she was reading it, she was talking about how much she was enjoying it. And so she sent it to me, and I couldn't read it fast enough. Oh my gosh, the character development, the way that they saw war, and the way their love changed, and the way they're like, not that their morals changed, but the things they did for love during a time of war are things that they probably wouldn't have done if there wasn't war. It's a very moving book. It had like 3 different endings. Like, you thought it was all tied up and emotional and you cried, and then you thought it tied up again and you cried, and then it finally tied up at the very, very end and you cried some more. Lots of tears. Beautiful book. Highly recommend. And then I'm reading, this is Delirium. This is by Lauren Oliver. She writes dystopian novels for young adults. And this is about, in the society, they see love as an illness, and they have a surgery to cure it when you're 18. And there's a lot of talk about like the old days and how people thought falling in love was a good thing, but it was really just an illness changing who they were and what they were doing. And people who are speaking out about the cure in the past have kind of disappeared. So this girl is getting ready to have her test, and then some really weird things happen, and she starts to have a lot more questions. Pretty good so far. My sister actually gave me the set. So I have three main books to read, and then one book that has like 3 spinoffs. So that's pretty cool. And then I'm reading The Paris Library. This is the book that I got from my parents for my birthday. They got me a blind date with a book, and so even they didn't know what it was. And it is also a World War II novel, so I wanted to finish The Nightingale before I started this one. This is The Paris Library by Janet Skeslien Charles, and so far I'm enjoying it. It's about this lady who used the library to help, I think it's children. Let's see. I guess it doesn't really say. The lady and her fellow librarians joined the resistance with the best weapons they have, books. When the war finally ends, instead of favoring freedom, the main character, Odile, tastes the bitter sting of betrayal. So she has gone through the war, and so it's got flashbacks of her, like her time frame, and then in the present it has this young neighbor girl who doesn't really understand much about Odile, or Dell, I'm not sure how you say her name, the main character, and the neighborhood kind of picks on her, and she's just weird, so they're not very friendly. And through the mentorship that they seem to be creating, we are learning her story. Yeah, I'm enjoying it so far. I'm also listening to The Happy Place by Emily Henry. It was for our book club. It's pretty brain fluffy. I haven't gotten to the ending, but I did go to our book club meeting because I wasn't sure if I was going to finish it. And it was a spoiler-friendly book club, so I knew I'd be spoiled. But knowing the ending makes me kind of more curious about how we got to the ending from where I'm at. So I will finish that book. That's on Audible. Farm life, nothing yet. Nothing to report. Things will be changing soon. The big horses will be going down into the big field. Gardening season might be happening. I did not do very well with my garden last year, so I'm not sure. I think I want to try it this year. I get really excited and I go totally into it, and then it usually fizzles out. So not sure what my plans are. Stay tuned. Now for my favorite part of the podcast. This is my spice of mental health. This is where I give you something to do, something to think about, a better way of saying something to yourself. Sometimes I've been doing quotes, but today I'm going to do it simple, and I am just going to remind you, because I need this reminder, that our house and its cleanliness is not a reflection of ourselves. We are completely different. So if you're having a day where your mental health capacity or your plate of what you've got to do is too much to make your house as nice as you want, or even like in extreme cases, which happens to me often, like just the thought of having to do the housework, you're like, oh my gosh, like I just need some time to do nothing, and I just need time to not feel like I'm spinning or being pulled in a million directions. This is my permission to you to take a deep breath and tell yourself that your house can be a little bit messy. You're going to be okay. People aren't going to judge you. In fact, honestly, people probably will. There's some people who have nothing better to do, but you shouldn't need to worry about that, because that is a problem that they have, not a problem that you have. And your house is not going to stay dirty forever. Like, you're going to get back to it. Hit pause, have a dirty house. Realize that having a dirty house has no reflection on your value, who you are as a person. So, with that being said, let the laundry pile up, let the dishes pile up, and let it all wait for another day. Maybe knit another row, crochet another row, take a deep breath, get extra sleep. Whatever you need to do, cuddle them babies, hang out with your significant other, read a book, whatever. Your house can wait. And with that, I hope that you have some mental peace and some happy crafting, and I will see you next time. Bye!